The Miami Hurricanes won 31-27 over Ole Miss here at the Fiesta Bowl, advancing to the national championship game at Hard Rock Stadium. I really can't believe that this team is going to the national title game. Not because they're not good enough or they haven't played well enough or they didn't do exactly what they needed to in this game. It's just that it didn't look like they were going to have the opportunity to play for it, and they did, and then they get into the playoffs, and then they win at Texas A&M, they knock off Ohio State, and now this one tonight against Ole Miss. And a lot of guys deserve a lot of credit on both sides of the ball. The coaching staff, everybody deserves credit in getting to the national title game. And certainly with the way they've been playing, you've got to give Miami the edge, the advantage, regardless of who they play, with Oregon or Indiana. Certainly two very good teams, absolutely. But just the way Miami's playing and going back home. Look, this team hasn't played at home since mid-November. It's a really long time ago. They played 5 games now away from home. But, just thinking about this team and how they got the win tonight. Look, they controlled it from the beginning. The total plays it was very lopsided. The time of possession, Miami was in complete control. And it felt like at halftime, Ole Miss's defense was going to have to make a play at some point, or they were just going to kind of keep staying behind Miami. And they did get the interception. And Ole Miss did take that lead there early in the fourth quarter. But Miami found a way to bounce back. And, even with the momentum, they kind of got back into it there. So Miami gets the lead back there in the fourth quarter early on. And then Ole Miss has the drive to take the lead, 27-24 with 3:13 left. And then Carson Beck, really, we've seen a lot of good drives from this team late in games, and we saw it again in this one here. Carson Beck goes down the field, makes some quality throws. There's been other drives this year where they've kind of leaned on the run game, but really Carson made some great throws, really accurate throws there in that final drive, and then he caps it off with the touchdown. But, Keelan Marion had a huge game, that 52-yard touchdown catch. He goes for over 100 yards. Malachi Toney had that huge touchdown. That was just huge, just the way he broke free there midway through the fourth quarter. It was good to see him involved, and he was certainly really excited during the celebration there on the podium. But all the guys, just really on both sides of the ball, a lot of guys deserve credit for how they performed and for getting the win. Mark Fletcher goes for over 100 yards as well. All the receivers, all 5 of the wide receivers caught passes in this one. Both tight ends with Alex Bauman and Elijah Lofton had a huge catch there and then goes out with an injury. But, just a really good performance. Offensive line, as they've done all season long, really did a good job. And then defensively, they were led by Jacoby Thomas with the 5 tackles, the 2 pass breakups. He gets defensive MVP. But they had 3 opportunities for interceptions just really drop out of their hands, which really could have made even a bigger difference in this game with how it was going. But the defense did a great job. Even though they gave up the 27 points, I thought they did a good job, especially early on, not letting Ole Miss get into a really positive rhythm. Whereas conversely, they were allowed, they allowed their offense, Miami's offense, to really get control of the game and kind of get that early lead and kind of hold on to it for most of the game. But it was good. Again, the defense did a good job. Ole Miss was certainly capable of scoring more points as they had done all the 30-point games they had in a row coming into this one. So certainly, just in general, just this team, this program, it's just really exciting. It was a lot of fun seeing all the, I was down on the field the last 5 minutes of the game and just soaking in all the big plays, and the environment was great. And then just being on the Miami sideline and seeing all of the former players that were here, legends that played at Ray Lewis, obviously Michael Irvin, Andre Johnson, Reggie Wayne, seeing these guys was great. Calais Campbell, Cantrell Roll, even Cam Ward was here. It was just great to see, all these former great Miami players here. And I just, when you talk about Miami going to the national title game, obviously I know there's a huge fan base that's excited for this, but I just think about all the former players that they've represented, all the former Hurricanes that have wanted the success, and I remember there's been years where I talked to former players and they just didn't really want to comment on the team because they were just disappointed in it. And certainly they have a lot of reasons to be proud of this team with how this team plays. Again, they know their identity. This team knows its identity, what it wants to do each and every game. When going into a game, and then as the game's going on, they just have a really strong identity, and again, just a lot of good guys on this team to root for. It's very easy to, as you kind of learn more about their stories and their grind to get to where they're at. Just with the national title game, and look, they're going to play a quality opponent that certainly is capable of winning the title. There's no doubt about it. But it's just this feel that we've seen by watching this Miami team play, and how they just gain more and more confidence, or having more and more success. You know, those losses that they had, those disappointments, just feel like a really long time ago. And it kind of really is, considering how long the playoff goes. But I just think about, again, all that they've kind of worked towards, all that they've talked about, this 1-0 mentality. Now literally is just one game left. And as this team has played and its approach throughout the playoffs, you know, I just expect that to continue in this one. I don't think they're going to get too ahead of themselves. I'd be really surprised if they do. You know, certainly. I just think this team has just a lot of veteran guys, and obviously they got the young guys making plays too, but just really good leadership on both sides of the ball, and I think that is going to be really big in a game like this. You know, they all know what's at stake. Everyone knows, and I think they're ready for the moment. You know, even though it's going to be a lot of hysteria leading up to it, you know, with that game, and you know, there's going to be huge storylines. Obviously, if Miami plays Oregon, that's going to be a huge storyline there. And then even with Indiana, with Fernando Mendoza, the local product from Columbus High School. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it all shakes out. But I just think about how everybody watching this video, you're certainly a Miami fan, so I understand it. So hopefully you're really just enjoying this and all the excitement that's coming with it, all of this, whether it's a surprise or not. But here we are. I just definitely really appreciate everybody for showing your support all season long. Looking forward to continuing to do these videos. Looking forward to getting back home. There's no doubt about it. I've enjoyed my time here, but I love South Florida. I love Miami, so I'm definitely looking forward to getting back. But anyways, thanks for watching the video, especially right now at the end of the video. Really appreciate your support. Have a good rest of the day, good rest of the weekend, and take care.